members of the media, our staff, distinguished guests and everybody, but most importantly, the ground forces of the EFF. We ate a food of thought before our dinner, delivered by the Secretary General of the only emancipation movement in South Africa, Africa in the diaspora. I think it was a political workshop or education for all of us. So thank you very much, SG, for the free political lecture today. I think akungeni ngapha kuphume ngapha. Kumele sikubambe, and for us to be better leaders, we must be good listeners. Because a good leader is a good listener. And for us to sharpen our political acumen, we must read the documents of the EFF, the founding manifesto, the constitution, and all other documents of the EFF. So the questions that the SG asked us to ask ourselves are relevant questions. What is an ideal EFF member? So the same question must apply to this assembly in terms of the PCT, as it is going to elect the PCT, among other things. What is an ideal PCT? And all the things that he taught us about the capacity as individuals and as collective to be able to have our own programs and fundraising independently is the things that we are also going to engage about in the commission. And we've been engaging it about in other assemblies, including in the Second National Assembly. So, Secretary General, we are welcome here in MPUMALANGA, and we are blessed to be with you today and throughout the assembly, and we hope we'll learn more from you. We met this weekend in an important gathering of a Provincial People Assembly, a gathering constituted by delegates from more than 374 branches out of the 400 wards of MPUMALANGA, which represent more than 93.5% of all branches here today, to fulfill our constitutional obligation. The Economic Freedom Fighters Constitution, amended and adopted by the Second National People Assembly in 2019 in Johannesburg, Section 18.1, oblige us to convene a Provincial People Assembly every 4 years to reflect on the progress we have made, the journey we have traveled thus far, with each other, and challenges we have confronted, and the milestone we have been able to achieve. This is a task that we must take seriously. To be disciplined means we must not tell lies. We must not mislead our people, and we must not claim easy victories. We must not only quote Amilcar Cabral in speeches, but we must practice what we say. Commissars and fighters, we gather here today when the world has changed so much since the last time we met at Ngwenyama Lodge in 2018. At the beginning of 2022, the world experienced a global pandemic known as COVID-19. As of this past Wednesday, more than 6.2 million people had died worldwide. Here in South Africa alone, More than 102,000 people died because of COVID-19. The whole FNP stadium, if you want to do it as an imagination, full pack. In MPUMALANGA alone, more than 4,000 people died because of this pandemic. But we have also experienced tragedies in the recent past. We have lost many of our fighters. Some have passed in line of duty. In May this year, we lost 4 disciplined and dedicated fighters in Dr. J.S. Moroka sub-region, Ward 26, in a tragic car accident. Fighter Pila Atronika Maliti, who was an EFF councillor in Dr. J.S. Moroka municipality. Fighter Nozulu Machika, an EFF fighter in Ward 26, fighter Lucy Mashamaite, the siblings, and fighter Johannes Mashamaite. To this we say salute. We also experienced the tragic and violent passing of Hilary Gadi, the daughter of the former Secretary General of the EFF, Commissar Kotrish Gadi, who was violently murdered, and we shall reflect more on this point later on. I will now request the House to stand up and observe a moment of silence for these fallen heroes and honor. Thank you. Comrades, delegates, this past week marks an important day in the history of South Africa, particularly the 12th of September. On the 12th of September 1977, the racist apartheid regime killed Bantu Stephen Biko. We pay tribute to Biko because he did not only die for ideas he believed in, he also taught us that for meaningful change to happen, we must reorganize the whole economic pattern. We say Biko taught us this because we want to expropriate land without compensation for equal redistribution for meaningful change. We want to nationalize mines, banks, and other strategic sectors of the economy. And we want to build state and government capacity which will lead to the abolishment of tenders. It is because of Biko we want free quality education, healthcare, houses, and sanitation. We want massive protected industrial development to create millions of sustainable jobs. And we want massive development for the African economy. And lastly, that we want an open, accountable, corrupt-free government and society without fear of victimization by the state agencies. I think we're all familiar with our 7 non-negotiable pillars, which is our driving points in the founding manifesto of the EFF. Forward with the 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars, forward. Forward with the 7 non-negotiable pillars of the EFF, forward. For this we say to Biko, you did not leave us empty. We are on course to destroy the white man's game, and we are guaranteed this outcome when we responded to the call of what is to be done on the 27th July 2013. This is our general mission and a mission of economic freedom in our lifetime, one which we must not destroy. We welcome all past and present leaders of our movement and extend a special welcome to all of our guests. To gather under one roof without throwing chairs and bottles at each other, adopt credentials, and officially convene with the required quorum is not a small achievement. It is evidence of our journey thus far. It is evidence of the living organization here in MPUMALANGA. It is evidence of solid branches in Kangala, in Hertsibande, in Ehlanzeni, and in Buhlabela. Fellow fighters, this third Provincial People Assembly must take into account where we come from, reflect on whether we are on the right track, and renew the mandate of the organization in the province. This is an important task we must not take lightly. On international overview, commissars and fighters, while we gather here in the account of provincial affairs, we must always locate our struggles and mission within global dynamics. We must take into account global dynamics because both as a country and as MPUMALANGA province, we play an important role in the global economic value chain. We are one of the two provinces that have avocado production, which is a targeted export market. As a province, we account for more than 20% of South Africa avocado production. Almost 90% of the country's sellable coal is mined here in Mpumalanga. When Cyril Ramaphosa takes a mandate from his handlers in the United States and Britain to move away from coal to this so-called renewable energy, we must be very concerned as a province. The unfortunate reality is that if we allow Cyril Ramaphosa and his handlers to close these coal mines, it will mean many of the mining towns will be left without any economic activities. The people of Emalahleni, Hendrina, and Middelburg, Emelo and Piet Retief will be left without jobs or the means to survive. Fighters, we must confront the truth that the call by superpowers to move from coal to renewable energy is driven by greed and financial interest, more than an interest in the environment and the well-being of our people. We know that banks have given loans to these renewable energy companies, and if there is no demand for renewable energy, they know that those loans by Nedbank, Standard Bank, ABSA, and First Rand will not be paid back. This is why they are forcing Eskom to enter into expensive, unsustainable contracts with independent power producers. We know that their call for renewable clean energy is driven by greed because when the military operation by Russia in Ukraine started to limit the supply of gas, they switched on all coal power stations. We must build a coal mine near Gusile power station because if you look at the original concept for the power station, the plan was to have mine that is direct feeder. It is not sustainable to have more than 800 trucks transporting coal daily with just 3 units operational. Once all 6 units are in operation, without a mine that is direct feeder, it means we will have more than 1,600 trucks daily on the roads. I think for those of you who come from the mining town, you understand better the language we are trying to say here. There is a shift globally that has been going on. We should all understand the context and circumstances of Russia's military operation in Ukraine. The establishment is being challenged and it will fight with all it has. We should commend the Russian resilience to fight the attempt to expand NATO into the territories of Russia to give the superpowers even more territorial space. We must continue to pledge our solidarity with the people of Cuba, encourage provincial exchange program with institutions of higher learning in Cuba. Mpumalanga is in need of primary health care doctors. We must continue to pledge our solidarity with the people of Palestine. Fellow fighters, we must be concerned by continental struggles because the fight between superpowers will only make fight for continental unity even harder. Some amongst us here may think this does not concern us, must be discussed at a national level. We must be concerned, fighters, the condition of our brothers and sisters, families and friends here in Eswatini is not changing. In fact, it is getting worse. Every year we take it upon ourselves to organize demonstrations at the nesting border post to demand democratization of Eswatini. Until we collapse the deported king and his corrupt family, the Dlamini family, their cries will continue to be our cries. Their grief will continue to be our grief. And their struggle will continue to be our struggle. We are happy that the EFF, led and guided by the Commander-in-Chief and President Julius Malema, is at the forefront of extending solidarity in all manner of efforts. And we are also happy that our brothers and sisters in Swaziland know that they are not alone. The brutal killing by Mswati's regime of innocent children, women, and men will soon come to an end. We have committed ourselves as the economic freedom fighters that it will come to an end. The fight over Botswana gas should be a warning to all of us sitting here. The United States maintains its military presence in Botswana not because it is concerned about its security or the security of Africans. They set up military presence to ensure that the looting of African resources happens without resistance. We must be concerned about the trade and exchange agreements between Rwanda and the United Kingdom. We must continue to raise awareness about the plight of the people of Western Sahara, whose land remains occupied by Morocco, denying them a basic human right and a right to identity. Commissar and fighters, the reality is that we are dealing with a governing party that does not have either the competence, the capacity of political will to lead this country towards a path of economic growth. They do not want to address poverty. They are fine with inequality and they are not bothered by high levels of unemployment. The South African economy does not have direction and there is no practical plan to address this, despite it being obvious that it is a crisis. The reality is that more and more people will not be able to afford to feed their families. Many are already struggling as we speak. There are more than 60 million people in South Africa, of which 4.7 million are here in MPUMALANGA. We have an unemployed rate of 48.1% here in MPUMALANGA, and we are one of the provinces with the highest poverty levels for households that do not have proper food. These are numbers that we must all familiarize ourselves with. Comrades, commissars, and fighters, the project of consolidating the ground towards socialist power will demand that all our regions and branches engage in programs that seek to better the lives of our people. Even more so here in MPUMALANGA, because we have viable industries that must contribute to the fight against poverty, unemployment, and inequality. The coal mines in areas such as Emalahleni and Middelburg, among others, must be owned by our people and must contribute to the betterment of the province. The manganese in Kurumdrai, Nzoli, and in Lightenberg, Mashishin, must lead the beneficiation in those areas. Nuts, citrus, and many other industries should contribute to the industrialization and job creation in MPUMALANGA. Fellow fighters, we will have not spoken if we don't touch the sensitive issue and demon of gender-based violence against our women and children. We have a crisis in our hands, the crisis of crime. Sometimes recently, the Minister of Police released crime statistics. The Delmas police station is among the top 30 police stations in the country with the highest number of cases of attempted murder. In MPUMALANGA, Victor Kanya municipality. The same Delmas police station has the highest number of cases of kidnapping in the country, at number 8. We must do something about that. Fighters of Gangala, leadership of Victor Kanye, it's very bad. There is a close relationship between crimes that involve serious violence and gender-based violence. Women and children are kidnapped on a daily basis, either killed or assaulted. Commissars and fighters, we are failing in the fight against children and women. We are losing the fight every day. This is not only happening in Delmas Gwamhlanga police station, it's also amongst the top 30 police stations in the country with the highest cases of sexual assault in Tebisilean. We have to deliberate and come up with a clear program of action on how we will deal with the scourge of gender-based violence. It must be clear, it must be practical, it must be implementable, and it must give us results. But the challenge is not just the general collapse of law and order in South Africa and here in MPUMALANGA. Witbank police station and Mhluzi police station are two of the top 30 police stations where thefts of cash in transits have been reported. So there's a crisis almost everywhere and in every police station. And what is worrisome is that all they are out of, within the top 30 in the whole country. But the collapse and lawlessness are as a result of the failure of the government, particularly at the local level. We have the most dysfunctional municipalities after KwaZulu-Natal. The report by the Department of Culture makes it very clear that these municipalities are failing in all accounts to deliver services to their people. Our people do not have water, they do not have roads, they do not have electricity, they do not have sanitation infrastructure, and there is no solution inside. We have made strong strides since the second Provincial People Assembly. In 2014 national election, we received 83,589 votes, representing 66.2% of all valid votes and 2 seats in the provincial legislature. We were number 3. With the clear mandate of the second Provincial Assembly, we grew up our vote to 155,573, double our share of total votes in the province and a number of seats in the provincial legislature. I thought you'd clap yourself the hands because that's your work group, Ground Forces. When we met in 2018, we had just over 86 councillors. We gained an additional 52 councillors after the 2021 local government election. A growth we should all give credit to ground forces, commissars and fighters. While we celebrate the performance, we must be concerned about our inability to win ward councillors, SG. I think I must repeat that. Commissars and fighters, while we celebrate the performance, we must be concerned about our inability to win wards seats in the province. So we were having a GTU meeting last week, Monday. And within the program, they were saying there must be a meeting of all provinces, of ward councillors. But it only applied to provinces who's got wards. It was painful, that thing, because we don't have a ward. We have tried recently in Ward 13 in Pushback Ridge, and we missed it with an inch, with 21 votes. And we have lost some with that small margin in Malatlin Ward 10 with 4 votes. It happened. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully we'll do it because more by-elections are coming. We must just fight with agility and force and make sure that we register a ward in our province. It is not an easy task too. As we witnessed recently with the result of Ward 13 I've indicated already in Komazi Ward 10. The Provincial People Assembly must reflect objectively on these challenges. We need to understand why we are not winning, why our people not voting for our ward councillors. Fellow fighters, we are in the middle of September. We must guard jealously the progress we have made towards achieving provincial targets as our contribution to the 1 million membership campaign. We must remain disciplined. In conclusion, the complex challenges facing our movement emanating reflective in the slower than expected electoral growth and decrease in some parts has and can be tracked back to culture of an overrated sense of self-importance, overwhelming self-interest, and lack of appreciation of what it is that they have joined. Unfortunately, this is not true only general members. That is not true to only general members, but it is found to regional members, regional leaders, provincial leaders, and employees of the EFF in the council and the legislature. We must all at all times remind ourselves of what has made us to survive many attempted infiltration from the enemy since our establishment, and note as delegates of the third PPA that the EFF in MPUMALANGA has successfully completed the phase of existence, having successfully established 380 branches in good standing and consistently holding successful RPAs in all the 4 regions. It is through values of selflessness, loyalty, democracy, constructive criticism, collective action, and unity that we have passed this phase. Despite many challenges emanating from the post-2016 local government elections and the huge responsibility of the EFF in MPUMALANGA, post our last gathering in 2018 second PPA, this outgoing leadership managed to steer the EFF PR vote from 85,000 203 to 146,426, with less than a year in office. The organization in 2019 received less than 50 votes in only one ward, more than 100 votes in 392 wards, and more than 1,000 votes in 5 wards out of the total of the 400 IC wards in the province. All regions registered a decrease compared to the 2014 national and provincial election. The 2019 election results moved the EFF from being third biggest party to official opposition in the MPUMALANGA legislature. The EFF, however, plans to reduce the ANC to less than 50% in the next election, and judging by the 2021 local government election results, where ANC received 59%, these ambitions look increasingly possible. Fighters must go back to the ground and launch all 400 potential branches. The incoming PCT must ensure that regions are capacitated to service all branches, develop cadres and the organization from VT level so that the EFF moves from a state of existence to one of visible, vibrant, and living structures in all corners of the province. This will guarantee that we gain the necessary electoral growth and remove the ANC from power and implement the demands of our people. On 1 million membership recruitment campaign, Councillor James asserted that if one regards himself as a member of the Revolutionary Vanguard, as he verbally claims, but such a comrade cannot bring at least 1 or 2 members per month to join the Vanguard, then such a member must be reduced being a member to being a sympathizer. That's Comrade James, it's not me, Councillor James. The EFF MPUMALANGA, led by our convener of deployees, Commissar Dr. Susan Tembekwayo, launched its 1 million membership campaign in Bombela Park in February this year. The task to await the newly elected PCT to take us to our December target. The task awaits here the newly elected PCT to take us to our December target of the 1 million vote. This process must be accompanied with a thorough membership audit process which will give us an accurate reflection of the membership in terms of geographic and age, occupation, skills, etc. The focus of the incoming PCT must therefore be to convert the membership into a qualitative one, to complement the vision of the EFF of having 1 million ground forces canvassing for votes in 2024. MPUMALANGA must reach its target over 10,000 trained ground forces that will have the ability to persuade society in all corners of the province to vote for the EFF in 2024 national provincial election, and deliver an EFF-led government that will implement the demands of our people. As a Marxist, Leninist, and Fanonian-based ideological movement, yeah, it's a political report. I'm concluding. Don't worry, fighters. The organizational report is coming for engagement. As a Marxist, Leninist, and Fanonian-based ideological movement, we are internationalist in outlook. EFF MPUMALANGA is not different. The province is a direct gateway to 2 SADC countries, which are Swaziland and Mozambique, with a total of 6 border gates leading to the countries. This has seen the EFF being a host of multiple EFF internationalist programs, particularly aimed at a regime change in neighboring Swaziland. The PCT organized and led a number of border gate shutdowns, including in all gates leading to Swaziland. People of MPUMALANGA and Swaziland interact on a daily basis, undermining the very same artificial borders coming in and out of South Africa. We have over the years integrated with people from Swaziland, hence the growing impatience from South Africans, particularly in MPUMALANGA, with the absolute monarchy led by Mswati. It remains the duty of the EFF in MPUMALANGA to conscientize and agitate more of our people to take stand against the undemocratic, murderous rule of the Swazi monarch. The incoming PCT must continue this struggle and intensify it in order to influence another phase of revolution in Swaziland. EFF MPUMALANGA must educate society on its pan-Africanist outlook and its open border policy, and continue to undermine the colonial borders as a farce. The organizational report by acting provincial secretary will deal in details with the structures and their affairs, program of action, governance matters, disciplinary matters, and all other matters to give account, as you are mandated by the Second Provincial People Assembly. We are growing as an organization. Let us have a peaceful assembly like the provinces that came before us. Let us remain disciplined as we started. Commissars and fighters and comrade delegates, as an outgoing provincial chairperson, I wish you a successful third provincial assembly. Thank you.
Amandla. Thank you, Provincial Chair. Fighters, there are slight changes in our program. We are not going to discuss the political report and the organizational report, but we'll do it tomorrow morning when we come back.
Amandla, angithi EFF iyasetshenzela. Ya, sasindawo siyasebenza. Ngishilo ngathi oze holidini. Sizombona ukuthi usuke ebranchini eze holidini. So the chairperson of the session, we're going to engage on the political report. And then we're going to go to the organizational report. Senzela ukuthi abantu laba inconvenience omsebenzi we-EFF sheshe sibabona. Angithi abanye nasinikezwe i-mandate uthe ilento iyangidisrupt iyangidisturba. Sizela ukuzosebenza la. Chair, let's go.
Thank you, SG. Fighters, let's engage on the political report. Can I have hands? Can we get the roving mics ready? Let's get hands to engage on the political report. Number 1, number 2, number 3. There's only 3 hands. Oh, number 4.
1, 2.
1, 2, 3. Go on. Number 1.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Let me start by appreciating the political report that we have delivered on behalf of the outgoing PCT. Mine is not a long chair. I just have few clarity-seeking questions and constructive criticism. Chair, I'm so worried about the political report that we have just delivered, because the report that we have just delivered, not on behalf of the outgoing PCT, is not saying or highlighting anything about the political achievements or the victories of the EFF in the province, except the victory that we have registered under the national programs. Have we ever had any program as the province, except the national programs? Secondly, Chair, if my memory still serves me well, I remember in 2018 when we delivered the political report, even the DP, he was the one who was presiding over, who delivered the keynote address. He constructively criticized you when you delivered the political report that let the report stipulate or entails all the achievements of the EFF in the province. To say that under Cardinal Pillar number 1, land. These are the achievements of the EFF in the province. Under cardinal number 2, until the last cardinal pillar of the EFF, but there's no changes on the report. It's still the same as the report that we received in 2018. Thirdly, Chair, we know that our health system in the country has collapsed, but the report is not saying anything about the healthcare system in the province, particularly the primary healthcare system, and the dilapidated and the aging infrastructure. We know that our hospitals in MPUMALANGA, particularly near Malachian, where we come from, it has collapsed. The report also is not saying anything about the unemployment rate, although it's a national issue. But here in the province also, SG did touched it, but the report is not saying anything about it also. Again, on the issue of the alcohol and the drug abuse, the report is also quite on it. We're not saying anything about the EFF, that the program that we've achieved under alcohol and drug abuse. What did we do as the EFF? Or any rehabilitation center in the province? Lastly, Chair, we just had a crisis in Middleburg, Steve Tshwete. The report also is not saying anything about what has happened in Steve Tshwete, where some of the municipal employees were killed by the security company that was hired by the municipality in defense of the corrupt ANC criminals in that municipality. We were expecting you to entail more on that, what has actually transpired in Steve Tshwete, so that the House can also be on par. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Number 2. Yeah. Next to him.
Thank you very much, Chair. This is Lebogang Maisa speaking from Mkangala region. First of all, I must just thank the chairperson on his delivery on the political report. Mine is very short, chairperson. I am not here to criticize and to highlight, but there's one thing that you specifically spoke about, the issue of gender-based violence, when you are articulating the fact that our police stations, they are counted amongst the top 30 in the province, recently being that you recently stated that in Vitakani, I mean in Telmas, we've got an issue whereby there are people of kidnappings. I think that issue that we are highlighting is very important, Chairperson. So for you to highlight that, I think it's very important. Most of our children, they are being kidnapped daylight while we are looking, and nothing is being said about that, and nothing is being done about that. So I would like just for this assembly to try and adopt maybe a resolution that whenever we come out of here, we need to stand together and maybe find an amicable solution so that we can solve this problem once and for all. Because gender-based violence is being highlighted by the effects of high unemployment rates, as Ufaita has also raised here. So mine was just to articulate, just when we leave this as assembly chairperson, we need to come up with a proper program of action just to deliberate on those issues, specifically being it the issue of adaptations. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Number 3.
Sanibonani. Igama lami ngimbongani sibongo kaNkobane. Jozindo Mncane. Chairperson, ngiyayibona i-political report, even though in a mistake, maybe it's an issue of the scribe or the person was typing, because it's a pandemic, it's 2022, but so, Chairperson, political report is the report accurate is negated with the intelligent ideas that will enhance the issue of economic freedom. So your report, I will blame it here because when I heard clearly here, it speaks a lot about problems, not achievements. And most of these problems are of Nkangala. And there are issues of roads which Nyalo say it in Juba. One of it from Mzinti ngene it's Piva yophelela kaMdladla. You haven't spoke about it. And there is an issue which was very critical, and even now it's stressing me. The issue of Umbaba, which includes Inkomazi and part of Butlabela and Mbombela. The people of Umbaba stood up and say, we want a union. It was 2015 and 16. And then Shane worked in Kosher just because they wanted a union. You were there, Chairperson. I remember you were arrested with some of them, including Bofighter John. But that matter even now has not yet been resolved. And I've never heard you speaking about that in your report, of which it was supposed to be included so that we can come up with sharp ideas, or as the PCT, which will be elected, because the former PCT, it's very clear that is not touched to this issue of Mpaba for the 4 full years. So that one also, I think you will include it as the PCT that will be elected. And furthermore, I would like to salute the comrades, Ground Forces of Nkomazi, Ward 10 in particular, for winning 2 VDs victorious from the ANC without the assistance of province and national in by-elections, and also comrades of Butlabela, Ward 13, including their RCTs. Because in the report, Chairperson, we have never included those things. And those things were supposed to be there because it's a victory. And SG is here. I thank you very much, SG, for the robust keynote address. I think those who were used to take people's money now, they will start to look another eye, because little tilbabuki. Because SG is here. Because in Pushback Rich Ward 13, if you can check very well, we only lost with less than 40 votes. A ward with less than 40 votes. So in Ward 10, if we manage to win 2 VTs, which it's one of the biggest VTs, it means if we have invested more in this ward, we would have at least win it, or it would be the same with Ward 13. Because come 2026, then these 2 wards will be the first ones to be won. So, Chairperson, please, even though you are not going to revert back to the issue of the report, but you must fix these issues on your next address, should it happen that you win here. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 4. Number 4 is somewhere there. Number 4 is there, yeah.
Sanibonani. Igama nguSimo Ngwangcobo from Enkangala region. Anyway, izinto sekhavekile from akumfowethu uSankara as well mfowethu ekhuluma manje.
Alex phone is switched off. It's been jumping.
I-report engibonayo la, it's a report ngokubhala kwayo, but such as ngokubona kwami, if ngi-wrong ngizozama ungicorrect ama-fights. It's such a manifest. Ayikhuluma ukuthi sisukaphi safikaphi ikuphi okushodayo. Ngiyabonga. Ngiphinde ngidlulele kuyona report lesiphethe. Ucheck la ahambe khona wahamba yedwa sasala emuva. Because la mangithi ngiyabheka ama page awu 13 sigcine sithi concluding section wahamba sisamthola ku large page. Uhambe kakhulu simazanga ukuthi uhamba. Simthole ku last page number 13. Ngiyabonga.
Fighters, I need we open for hands. Ningabi nama afterthoughts. We opened for hands and we took hands. All right, let's go for the last round. You are number 1 there, fighter. You are number one there. Wait, fighters, it's okay. We are taking a second round. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 this side, hang it. 5. 5 hands, hang it. 5 this side, ne. Can we take this side from there, then we come here, then I come here, then I come this side, then the chairperson responds. Let's go for these 5 hands.
Amandla. My name is Jimmy Matala. I'm from Dr. J.S. Moroga. Chairperson, we thanks the report that you table. Although it does not speak to MPUMALANGA as such, because if you realize on this report, we have a vacuum leadership. And then why I'm saying that we got a vacuum leadership is because that if you see that our municipalities, they are getting a qualified audit. So what is happening is that we don't have a leadership from the province that all the PR, they are reporting to them in the province. Secondly, why we don't win what is, our PRs, they are not coming back to our community, back to report to us, the branches and the ground forces. Once the PR they are sworn in, we will never see them again. We'll get them the time the national, they say we must recruit again. There is no report we're getting from them. And then the regional office, they are creating a structure of PRs as an organizational. The ground forces, the branches that work the ground, they cannot get any report back. So our problem is that we're still gonna get a long way to win what. But we thank Colin Sidibe for leading us for 2 terms. We thank you a lot. Congratulations for your next journey. We are waiting for your new leadership. Thank you.
Fighters, let's try to engage on the political report. It's either you are saying to the chairperson, there was supposed to be additions here of Ganjani, or you should have maybe included this in the political report, so that it's Konuguti Sambegash. Because this is what the chairperson has presented, and this is what we must engage on. Thank you. You can proceed.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chair. Greetings to the SG, the convener of deployees, the outgoing PCT, RCT members present, PCT members present, and all the ground forces. My name is Dimakajo Patlamarasu from Emalahleni sub-region, Nkangala region, Ward 21. Mine, Chair, it will be on the gender-based violence point. I think you left some of the important things, like AMA matches that we had that were successful, the cases that we have achieved, like that one at Victor Kanye where the suspect was sentenced to life imprisonment. It was under the EFF GBV desk. That is why that suspect was sentenced to that. So we achieved that as the province since the formation of the GBV desk in the EFF. And then also the cases that we have attended that they are still on the roll. those that the suspects also never got bail. So they are still on trial, and we also believe that they will be sentenced. So those are the achievements that the GBV desk has achieved so far in the province, and more especially in the Nkangala region. So I feel like we lost, or we didn't put such points in this political report. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 3. Who's number 3?
Greetings to everyone. Thank you for the platform. Sehla gift from Kangala, from Steve Chwete. My leader, on this part, I think you just missed one important part. What I wanted to know, where do you put the people of Marikana, which is called Marikana in Steve Chwete, Shalamnandi Ward 10? Those people were evicted by red ends, and it is never included here in this report, my leader. Even in 2018, it was never included. Even when our CIC came to Mhluzi, it was never mentioned about the people of Marikana that were evicted by the red ends. What's going to happen to them? And a note was written down to us there, saying what the white guy is going to pay us, but it's continuing with the project. Why less? Nothing was said to us. So I think we should touch on that one, my leader. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 4.
Amandla. Ngithanda ukunibingelela nonke endlini. In particular, the CCT leadership, SG, greetings to you. The outgoing PCT members, commissars, labakhona phakathi endlini. Igama lami nguStanley ngingivuswa kaHlatshwayo from Ward 24, eMbombela, eHlanzeni region. Thank you very much, Chairperson, ukuthi usifundzele i-political report yakho. Ngifuna just ukukhuluma mina nga section 5, subsection 1A and E nje kuphela. Ngicabanga ukuthi le political report yethu ayisicoverishiki kangako in terms of employment. Or because nasibuka i-rate in South Africa, especially la eMpumalanga, the unemployment is very high. Ama-comrades akasebenzi, ama-fighters nasibuka la endlini 90% yawo, they are unemployed. Nangicheka la ku number B, paragraph number B, khuluma international overview. We have two actually. We are one of the 2 provinces as a producer, include avocado outside the country, and we include them mines. I thought as the province leadership will do something that will create job opportunities. Nasi khuluma section 5, 1, subsection A and E, ukhuluma ngani must protected of what? Of jobs, and what? Industrial development of, to create millions of sustainable jobs. But nansi ngiyabuka in particular abantu basenkangala kunema mines, but abantu basenkangala abasebenzi kulama mines. I thought le tool lekhona la organization kuthiwa i-labor desk sitoyisebenzisa kuzuma in to check in the mines as well ukuthi manje laba mines owners bayakhona ku-employ abantu kuleto tindzawo letinjalo na, so that we create in job opportunities for fighters bakhona kusebenza. Instant that labor desk sesiyisebenzisa ngani njengethulusi yokubetray ma-employees, sikhulume nani nebasebenzi ukuthi basinike imali singasadiscuss indzaba yani yebasebenzi. So I thought ukuthi kule 4 years lesibuya kuyo, without any due disrespect, Chairperson, as a province leadership besingenda something ukuthi sinegotiate na the employers, especially the miners, ukuthi abaqashe the locality first. Sikhone kusolve ini section number 5, 5.1 A and E, so that is stokhula njenge province. Sina 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars like EFF. As a province, if we can take just one and deal with it for 4 years, we can achieve a lot. The rest South Africa can deal with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Number 5 is here. The last hand on this row.
Thank you very much. My name is Timothy Khoko Mashilo from Nkangala region, Ward 24. I don't have much to say, however, I want to register based on the political report which our own chairperson have delivered. I thought that, Chair, you would reiterate on the issue of Utingo Park. And however, it was not indicated because to us as Nkangala, to us as Malahleni, and some of those members that are from where I come from, that issue is very close to our heart. The Deputy President of the EFF came in that particular residence to demonstrate that the EFF will win the battle against the corrupt ANC government. Myself and other comrades that were there, I thought that Faita Dimagaj, when she raised there, she was going to indicate, because she's also from that ward. That issue is very close to our heart. So I want to raise it that, Chair, please, the incoming leadership, even our national, because the SG is here, that issue is very close to our heart, because now the ANC is proving the point that the EFF was lying when you say you are going to stay here. So community people are staying here, they are staying in that particular place without any protection. They don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. So, Chair, we were there as the EFF and we were led by you. And I believe that you were supposed to put this issue because we also gained more votes in that ward, provincially, not only as a Malahleni or Nkangala, but provincially. We benefited from that ward. The seat that we have in the legislature are benefited from that ward. So now I'm saying that at some point, when we give a political report, it must indicate the voters, because the EFF grows because of the voters. We can't grow based on talking to people without them voting. We promised them that we are going to win that battle. So, Chair, I believe that the incoming leadership will definitely demonstrate further to say we're going to win that battle. Shortly, I won't go far. I want to indicate on the issue of students in the province. I'm trying to briefly read the report, but I don't see where it features the contribution of the student politically. However, I'm grateful that the chairperson of the students was addressing today, Wandile, indicated very well that we are growing in the province. So, Chair, I'm saying it must be to everyone else who want to be a leader in the province. Prioritize young people, because the future is in the young people. If you don't prioritize students, we don't have the youth command yet. So you must prioritize young people, which are the students in the province, so that they are the ones that must lead the organization in the future. Not today, but in the future. For now, we are still happy and we are fine that the current leadership is quite all right. Therefore, let it go and lead us. However, we believe that please invest in the students. I'm worried about the document here. I haven't heard anything, but I've seen victories
in campuses. I've seen victories where young people, especially students, are winning battles. They are registering students every day in the province. So, in that accordance, I don't have much to say. I wanted to raise those issues which I've raised already. Invest in the students in the province, and further, the issue of land. Momi kuku morula on simo coordination, boating in daughter, morula on simo squatter, out squatter Campbell hostel. Chair, you know, you have got history about human settlement. Appreciate that issue. Make sure that is part of this agenda. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Fighters, singakhohlwa ukuthi kusasa kusafuna siye kuma commissions. And some of the things in this raise a political report is things that esingaya kuma commissions isohlala khona and siyengageane ngazo and take ama resolutions with regard to that. But again, so I'm going to suggest that we take 2 hands from this side. SG, fighters want to work. Okay, fighters, njengoba SG bekashilo earlier ukuthi sizosebenza nabe nifuna ukusebenza sisebenzeni. All right, let's go. Let's go to this row. How many hands here? Le paper 1. Then, let's start there. Emova, the paper limhlope 1, then 2, the second paper, then 3, langa with camera. Ne? We only got 4 hands, 5 hands for this row. Let's start there. Number 1 at the back, right at the back. Then scissors off. 5 hands from this side, then we go to this row.
Thank you so much and greetings. For the benefit of time, all protocol observed. Mine is simple. I'm Fighter Tabiso Class Matlang from Ward 31, Tembisile and sub-region, Gangala. Sine problem nathi ngale ebesicala ukuthi mhlambe chairman you will have a word about it. Kune challenge yama commuters, especially that are using Patco buses. Sometimes it happens ukuthi makuba nama increment they spend about 2 weeks using taxis from Tembisile, JS Moroka to Pretoria, which becomes more expensive for them. So we expected to hear a word on your political report with what is our political view regarding that. Because sometimes when it happens, we strike as the ground forces of that area, we are not able to maybe interact with the media or other communications, but we don't have a representative from the organization to come and address such issues, and those are our fellow voters. And then the other thing, we see the office of the secretariat that is not finishing their term. It becomes a concern to us. So we are so worried. We expected to hear something from that. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 2.
Sanbonen. Igama lami Michael Hlajwayo, Ward 26, Inhlanzeni region, Zone B. Ngifuna ukutsinza la kule page 11 kule political report njoba kulandzelana i-collapse of government services nale performance of the EFF in the province. Besicela kini baphathi bethu ukuthi nisupport nathi lama branchi nalama wadini. Thina e26 silwatli likhulu ezone B. So sibe ne challenge nyalo njoba tindo besithi ntshintsha akufani nakuqala sesinentshintsho nyalo. So siyayicela kakhulu support kini ma leaders ethu. Thina ewa 26 njoba lwathi lethi likhulu sivaydiwe to ama-ward committee kuthi okay ifuna nyalo sikhethe ama-ward committee njoba ikhuluma la le report of the political report the collapse of the government services the ANC besicinzetela kuma-ward committee bekufuneka sibe na-2 but kufuneka kube ne-agenda kufuneka kube ne-gender based i-gender njalo sorry kufuneka kube ne-equal gender equal
Fighter.
Sorry.
Fighter.
Yes.
Fighters. Sorry kancane man. Angithi bengishilo ukuthi ngicela si-engage political report.
Yes, nguyo papa.
But lokho kunye sesikuletha ngizene and ngizocela futhi laba abanikana nge-roving mic. Fighters, you are not amongst the people esibakhethile. Ngicalekile fighter lele beliphakamisa iphepha ngathi siza so number 2 number 3. So please ngicela laba baphetha lama roving mic. Nangithi number 1 nibabuke ukuthi ubani number 2 number 3 number 4.
Yeah.
As you conclude fighter please.
Kulama ward committee ensibesicinzetela ithi ifuna
fighter political report please.
Yes, but it's a collapse of the government services. It's not a political report.
Can you conclude, fighter?
Okay. Ngizakhuluma ukuthi sicela ukuthi nis assist nisite to what committee sikhonile khetha what committee EFF.
Fighter. So awusekho ku political report please. Hayi ukuthi ngizokusuppressa ngizothi bathathe le roving mic and give it to the next person akhulume please.
Okay.
Lezinto sicelayo nalama concerns nanani I think mhlambe ungeza ku leadership after and then and register those things. Can we go to number the roving mic please? Can you go to
Amandla?
Yes.
Amandla. Thank you very much, Deputy Chairperson of the session, for according me this opportunity to make reflection on the political report that has been presented by the Chairperson, Commissar Colin Sedibe. Chairperson, my analysis is that we seem to be antagonistic. We seem to be behaving as if there is a political dichotomy. We are not assisting this report because we don't welcome. I want to welcome this report first, as presented, because there's something that has been done. Just that it doesn't touch where other fighters are looking for. So, what I can say, Chair, is that there's a lack of submission of reports by branches to region to province, so that the Provincial Chair, when consolidating this report, he must cover all the aspects that we are looking for. So, Chair, as a Marxist-Leninist organizational, ideologically orientated, I just want Chair to concur with what you have proposed, that much of the discussion here will be then we adopt it with those additions. Not that we seek clarity seeking from the Chairperson. This is our report. This is the session for this for this assignment. So I submit, Chair, that even from the input that has been raised by the Secretary General, let's take them to the commissions for thorough exhaustion. Thank you, Chairperson. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you. Izaphambi. Ngithe roving mic ngibobuka labantu engibakhomba. Next to the camera, yes.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chairperson. Greetings to leadership. My name is Lucky Kosas Masego. I am from Ward 7 in Bombela, Ehlanzeni region. When I was seated here listening to the chairperson presenting his report, gotten into as a province will be taken into details when we get the organizational report from the acting secretary. That is why some of us thought maybe we should wait until we get the secretary, the organizational report, so that we are able to deal with both reports and we are not mixing things that might come in the organizational report. But as given, we are here to work and we are now working. I think, Chairperson, there are many programs that we have achieved as a program, as a province. But some of the programs cannot be included, all of them, in this report. But what I want to touch is the issue of the by-elections in Bushbuck Ridge and that in Komas. Because I feel, Chairperson, that at some point we have let down the people of Ward 13 in Bushbuck Ridge and Ward 10 in Komas. Because that's where we should have won, because the people there showed that they believed in the EFF. Really, we did not put enough effort into that space. As a province, we are reliant on one leader, which is the provincial chairperson, to can provide any assistance, political and otherwise. So one thing that we must be able to do in this PPA is that we elect leadership that will work as a collective. And that we get support from the CCT, because I don't think the support that we got was enough for us to can help the people of Ward 10 and Ward 13 to realize their dream of having an EFF councillor. Thank you very much.
Okay, next is a Pambil fighter. Is now? Yes.
All right. Thank you, Deputy Chairperson. My concern is on the political report.
Introduce yourself, fighter.
Okay, I'm Faisal Sakile Mazibuo from Ward 12, Comtry. Then my point is la go le issue as a Comtry imtsuri. Then a Comtry it's in a sinenginga kune mine le khona. Lenesikhathi seyisebenda le mine eshukulu. Then bengifuna ukubuta la kumphathi ukuthi uyati na ngale mine ukuthi iyasebenda lapha eshukulu. Comtry, because I benefit umphakathi wase Comtry, and senesikhathi lesithi it's been about 5 years isebenda mara inga benefit umphakathi wase Comtry ilapho.
And then who was the last one? Oh, now two la pambil, then it's Teglero. Fighters, ideally, when we deal with the report, see engage a good report. We are on page 9, paragraph number 2, and then we have my editions, or maybe you feel which a person in corner the issue. Let's not keep on repeating ourselves. The issue of the by-elections, I think it was raised. I think the chairperson has noted it. So nangabe usamwe usafuna ukubuya ku issue yama by-elections, just say no, I'm covered, because it has been raised. You can proceed, fighter.
No, angibingelele.
Ngingisalimo Salimo Kangwenya wa 13 eMatsulu. So mina ngisukumele kusola lutho. It's just that kuna something le bengicabanga ukuthi toba included la kule political report, because etikolweni eMatsulu sibukane nenkinga. Kuna circuit manager lokhona lo fenza bothishela lapha bo principal. So ngicabanga ukuthi provincial chair kukhona lo mdeploy la wala lapha eMatsulu, ngicabanga ukuthi le itothashwa la. Then sinenkinga ya principal lapha lo shabo thishela ashaya even bantu ngicabanga ukuthi it is going to be included here kule political report, so siyacela ukuthi prioritize nje.
Thank you. The last one.
Sanibonani. Njani nonke? Ngiyabonga sekela sihlalo. Usayithi Mgwenya ngichamuka eWard 9 eMgcobaneni eZeview. Ya ngithanda kuyibonga ireport yasihlalo lapha kimi ikahle kakhulu ngoba nangisingiyabuka nangibuka lama election lasibuya kuwo kusho kona ukuthi lo mnyaka lo siya kuwo eMpumalanga siyathatha. Ngiloko nje kuphela singabambisana sizame kwakhana kusho kona ukuthi siyaphambili kude lokunye. Ngiyabonga mina.
Sibonga. Kulama question abuziwe khona okusha ngapha. Okay, asiye la. Number 1. Where paper number before where paper there's one there, there's another one there. You are number 2. Where paper number 3, number 4 red jacket, number 5 lay a move in that order. Asicale ngapha fight. Yes.
Ngibonge program director deputy chairperson ngibingelele ne leadership. Ngisukumela ukuthi ngiwelcome ngifighter Bushas Funda RCT member yaseHlanzeni. So ngisukumela ku welcome a report ya chairperson and ngisukuma ne proposal deputy chairperson yokuthi ngifuna ukusupporta the speaker. Let's call it some of the questions of my commissions. So let us allow the chairperson to respond to those questions that have been already questioned. Yeah, we are repeating the same questions. So let us allow the chairperson to answer those questions. Then I'm proposing that the chairperson will answer those questions and move to the next items because it's getting late. Some of the items we are going to deal it in commissions. I thank you.
There's a proposal, fighters. Or you still want to engage there? Okay, give them the mic.
Thank you very much.
Number 2 on this row.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chair. And thank you very much, SG, for your political lecture. It was very thought-provoking. Thank you for that. Mine is very short. I just want to contribute and say that I hear leadership, they're talking about mining communities, and they are forgetting that there's also farming communities where we have CPAs, communal property associations. Where I come from in Ward 9, our forefathers, our grandfathers, they claimed land through the land reform, and now since 2012, and now it's been 12 years and nothing is happening. So mine was that, can leadership also come up with a resolution as to say how to deal with
such communities where they are farmers and not just mining communities. Thank you.
This is Mandankuna from Ward 24, the second best performing ward in the 2021 general elections. Ngilalele angiseka kukhuluma. Mina ngifuna ukukhuluma na page 12. Ibaluleke kakhulu. It's page 12. We need to understand why we are not winning. Why are our people not voting for our ward councillors? Comrade Chairperson, as we ward councillors, ngoba i-province ayiwasupport ma-branch ngesikhathi sema-election. I-province ilinza i-national kuze ito-support ama-branch. Ma-branch akazange aphumelela kahle because nilinza tindo tibuye ku-national. Nyala kule report le, kuna ward 31 wasebuhlabele na ward 24. Ngo number 1, number 2 mara abaka mention kule report. Lukusi pato khona encourage lawanye ma ward lawanye ma tinza out the province. So ngicela ukuthi i-province next time kuma elections I supported my branch ngasoke isikhathi. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you. Next.
Slapi Mashele from Governor Mpegi, Ward 7. I want to comment on your report, ya Chairperson. Aikhulumi ngema motion lafakwe through umasipala or the legislature kuthi which municipality laba liuthi ma motion laba ufakile which laba achievile kumasipala and everything. Aikhulumi nokuthi like bomasipala bethu wevo MMC wevo chief whip, but ayisho ukuthi in these municipalities nabo chief whip kuphi kanjani. So I report ya chair for me negimi it sound ngathi it's a closing remarks because ikhuluma ngento esingathi sayozenza ayikhulumi ngezinto eziachievile. So just ngisafuna digesta le Steve Biko with the 7 cardinal pillars, but it's fine. Thank you.
The last one at the back.
Greetings. My name is Eric Masugu from Ward 18, Bombela. Chair, here in Ehlanzeni we have 3 bodies that are still trapped underground in Lily Mine for over 5 years. I want to check with your leadership about the role that the EFF has played or is playing in that space, because we have seen the EFF in the past participating in that space. Up until now, we have seen the EFF no longer in that space. We are seeing other political formations taking over that space. Thank you.
Thank you. You were the last one in that row. This row. Let's take hand from this row. The roving mic, can you please come this side? Check mangiti number 1, jalo kanjalo check until ekugcineni. Number 1 nangla phambili. You are number 2. Iphepha number 3. Number 4 fighter ngapo. Paper number 5. Number 6 emva kwephepha. Number 7. Number 8, number 9, number 10. Let's close.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chairperson. Greetings to the Secretary, the PCT, regional members. Thank you very much. My name is Lakin Tlapo, Sugalikwa sub-region. I just want to thank the Chairperson for the sterling job that he has done for the 5 years term. I just want to concur to what the Chairperson has raised to the Chairperson's report number 11, where it speaks about the collapse of the government services. I just want to make a request to the EFF, since the EFF is the vanguard of the people, to just have ways and mechanisms in terms of enforcing the DMR, because the report, it stipulates that we have collapsed roads in our villages. So if the EFF can just assist our communities in terms of enforcing the DMR, to enforce the mine, to give back 1% to the communities, since the laws, according to the DMR, stipulate that if the mine do work in a village, then they must give back 1% to the community. That's what I
number
want to
two.
take. Thank you very much.
Amandla, leadership under Mark Maimela from Hersiwande, Msugalikwa with 8. I think in future under gender-based violence, nekopela hore re zameng ho etsa a men's conference as EFF ele banna fela. And then later via society, it is more banning. I thought I touch alone. Thank you.
Next.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chair. My Deputy Chair, the first question that I'm having, let me firstly introduce myself. My name is Tabiso Mofokeng from Govenbegi, Ward 32. So, thank you very much. My first question is to pagination number 3, on bullet number 3. It just emanates from the question that say we want to build state and government capacity, which will lead to an abolishment of the tenders. And the second one will be on bullet number 4, that is on pagination number 4 and 7. So my first one is here. Honorable Chair, on this issue of the tenders, we have made a number of the submissions, particularly on the issues whereby we have this, the problem in some of the municipality whereby there's been some investigations that were made with regard to the corruption that has been skyrocketing. And we made the submission, SG, to the head office, to the legal department, in order to be helped in this regard, particularly on the issues of the foreign investigations that culminated a number of members of the mayoral committee within our municipalities that were also part and parcel of this corruption. Up until today, we are still waiting to say, HQ, can't we hold hands and address this matter? Because those people, they were identified to be the people, baby looter within those municipalities. So because on bullet number 7, Chairperson, you said we must ensure that, we have that open accountability and the corrupt-free governance. So since we have put at this, after these foreign investigations, up until today, we are still waiting. The office of the SG to help us in order to put the cases against some of these officials
including the councillors of the ANC, who were implicated into these problems. Now, I think, Chairperson, when you go to these power stations, like Bokusil and everything, Chair, there's absolutely nothing, the issues of always saying to the community or the consumers that there is a problem with regard to the supply of electricity. It is just a thumb-sucking. They are not there at all. The most unfortunately, Chairperson, I've worked into that department for a number of years. But how and what are we doing as EFF to ensure that we hold them more accountable? Because there's absolutely nothing, it's just the thumb-sucking. But let's deal more with regard to this matter. And last but least, this one of the renewable energy. How and are we going to really put more effort on the issues of the renewable energy in order to ensure that the consumers will be more sustainable? Thank you very much.
Next.
Thatha leli thuba ngibonga echairperson. Ligama lami ngingifani ngwakamlotshwa. Ward 18 Chief Albert Luthuli. Ngibingelele baphathi bethu labasuka eTulu ku nationally. Komisa SG Marshall Mini. Kunye nalabakhona phambili. Sikhalo sami lenginaso kuthunyelwa ngushepesini well branch la ngikhona khona ngenxa yetikhalo tebahlali bakule yanzawo nga cardinal pillar number 1 expropriation of land without compensation. Kunginamuhla ngikhuluma saniketwa ama-court interdict. Indzaba yakhona sayindlulisa nakukomisa Zandamela. So lokhona lengiphathiswe kona ngilolo ukuthi ngibabutele ukuthi how far ngale issue yalomhlaba losetshenziswa ngilabelumbi lapha eNkomazi Game Reserve. Ngoba kudzimade kube namhla kuthulile and on daily basis siyabutwa thine ngulabanikati balomhlaba lebe sibamele njengelunga lelisekomidini lalomhlaba ukuthi iEFF kanzi imephi ngendzaba yalomhlaba ngoba 22 September eminyakeni lofile iEFF yathembisa ukuthi itawumikisha i-ultimatum leplasini but kuthi made kube nginamuhla akakaphinza vele malunga EFF kuyo intervene ngale ya issue yebahlali lebafuna lo yamhlaba wabo khokho wabo kani kuyawuze kube kunini na EFF ikhuluma ngetinto especially leletfaka i-expropriation of land without compensation kodwa ekugcineni bantu bangawuthola umhlaba wabo kani ngabe le EFF ifana na ANC na? That's my question. Thank you, Chairperson. Ngiyabonga.
Wephepha lemuva. Ubi, oh, Nila. Fighters, let's be brief so kwazi ukuthi sicede kule round then uchairperson akhona ukuresponda. Please. Singalandi indaba ende straight to the point. That's it. Thank you.
Ngibonge Deputy Chairperson uFighter Cindy from eHelsibande Mkhondo eWard 2 lokhulumayo. Ngizocela uqala ku page 11 ku collapse of government services. Nginesikhalo la kunabo masipala eHelsibande in specific ebebe amahang municipality. Mina ngifila ngathi besingakabi bikho ready ukuba ku collusion kulabo masipala labo ngoba ukufeyila kwalabo masipala labo kusalimaza isithunzi senhlangano yethu ngoba sikholide nalabo bantu labo sisapulishwa ukuthi sivume izinto kungamelanga sizivume kulabo masipala labo siyalimala siyinhlangano bengisacela ukuthi siyibuke kuleyo esikolide kuyo sikomasipala bese ngiyabuya futhi eMkhondo bengithi kwi-report kuzofakwa i-issue yama-farm killings ukuze ne-national izokhona ukusilekelela maye siyahlupheka eMkhondo abelungu babulala abafowethu angazi ngoba senzeni ngonyaka ophelile abafowethu bayacoka bafa bebulawa abelungu bengenzanga lutho ngonyaka ondlulo ophelile abafowethu bakathwala nabakunene bafa bengenzanga lutho amacala wakhona athulile manje awaqhubeki siyinhlangano sigcine sithulile singaqhubeki nalawo macala besicela ukulekelelwa eMkhondo when it comes to farm killings kunzima kubhlungu currently sine issue kababamkosi eMkhondo olwa nomlungu sifuna ukwenzani sifuna ukusukuma ngoba babamkosi esebulawa ukhuthu na ukuze siqhamuke si-EFF sesiyokhalela umndeni bengicela mina enhlanganweni ukuthi asilweni nalamabhunu alibulala abafowethu ngiyabonga.
Thank you. Next. I think there's a last hand there.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chair. Mina ngingumzu wakaHatewe from Ward 6, Garsibande region. Ku-report engiyibonayo engaphambi kwethu la iyangihlukumeza kakhulu ngoba kukhona engibona ngathi akubalwanga la ngaphakathi kuyona. Sinenkinga kakhulu lapha eGM ama-PR councillors wethu esinawo ngathi sawakhohliwe ukuthi azeleni lapha ngoba sawavota ne-ANC lapha ngaphakathi sabagijima ne-ANC lapha ngaphakathi uma uthi uyabuza ukuthi yini indaba bakutshela ukuthi mandate abayithola from PCT so kuyahlukumeza kakhulu ukuthi unyaka ozayo simele sibuyele ebantwini futhi siyocanvasa njani ANC isihleke ukuthi abantu bethu isebenza nabo ayikho into esizobatshela yona so bengicela ukuthi kwangathi uchair angakubheka kakhulu lokho ngoba amakhansela wethu vele echemba bathi noma baraise yiphi motion bese bathola igama lokuthekelana lento enenzayo. I thank you.
Wokugcina fighter le khoneni omile namaphepha lapha ngapha ngaka left.
Awumaye ngiyabonga Nkosi yami. Hey kudala ngiphakamisa. Thank you very much, Deputy Chairperson. My name is Thokozani Ngwakamaseko ngokwesibongo. Fortunate enough, sina SG, I think iyalikhona lokulunga lendaba kungena la ku political report. SG, we have a problem nel office lakho. HQ ayisizi thina kahle kahle sinema report la ngumsangano laphuma lapha HQ avela athi akhokhe labantu laba ba 2018 20 banibani and sithi siyawa check uyabo actually becishe nje kahle kahle ma branch anga qualify siloku sibuyisela ama report
Fighter Thokozani.
Yeah.
I'll engage your report. What is it that you are raising on the political report?
Okay, net bengiyaxolisa ke kodwa nalenkinga le political report chairperson of the province siyabonga siyayemukela lenevelile mina nginesikhalo la sokuthi eDondoni amaphoyisa abulele umntwana ona 7 years kwavela ezindabeni sisaqela iEFF isisize.
Siyabonga. Thank you very much. Chairperson, you can respond to the questions.
Yeah, before I respond, I like the last speaker. He's Togozan, Fighter Togozan, can you stand up? Can you please withdraw? We are waiting Sangan.
Yeah, lona liphume ngephutha ngiyaxolisa.
And we must never do that.
Ngiyaxolisa
You can't address the SG and you say the HQ report him Sangan. That's disrespectful, ill discipline. Okay, thank you, Deputy Chairperson. Well, there are three categories of questions here. Some are relevant, some are irrelevant. And most are irrelevant because they relate to the organizational report. So there's a difference between a political report and the organizational report. The organizational report covers most of the things, carries more weight, including governance and labor issues, even the GPV issues that we are speaking about, they are covered there. Programs that were done and achievements, all are there. A political report is an ice-breaking, it just gives you the broader perspective of the province, political and the political environment. That's why it has touched issues like unemployment. Is there for those that have asked those questions. We even put percentages there. The issue of infrastructure, Mahiro, the lack of roads and Josin and so forth, it's there. And most of the issues are for, I can't waste the assembly's time. They will be covered in the location, except few issues. The programs that we had and the other activities like Umpaba, like Steve Twete, Tlalangatle, or Nkandla evictions. These are ongoing things that we must participate as EFF in. And we're doing that. But let me indicate that the Umpaba issue, we fought it a long way. And remember that issue was for a union issue, even before the EFF had labor desk. And we won it in the legislature. I remember Masugu, Eric was still my PA. The legislature agreed that that land must be expropriated, must be taken from that white man. There's minutes for that. And be given to those people. And the other thing, maybe I'll agree with you that some of the achievements are not covered. We advocated for a 30-hectare land for all the employees of UMPA, which were donated to them by a king and give a government, SG, brought all those people and then they trained them. But some decided to leave in the process because most of us, we don't have patience. And that was their land. They were going to work their land, which is what we are fighting for as EFL. Their own land, instead of working for that white man, racist white man, they've got their 30 hectares with the support from government, with implements, with everything to make that farm productive. So all 600 of them, they were trained in Mzinti. I went there and so forth. Those who didn't finish or go to the training, it was voluntary. And there's nothing we can do. And the killing in Swiftwet, Fighter Mahiro, it's a union issue, so employee-employer issue. It's not basically an EFF issue. But the chief whip or the caucus in Swiftwet did something because they supported the family, they visited them there, And we even agreed that we are going to give them lawyers through the EFF to assist them to do litigation. And we also wrote to the municipality to terminate the services of that security company with immediate effect, which I think we have seen on the communication. It was terminated. And then Josine, I think we are covered. And then Silongo, we come from and where? Well, the report reflects. When we start by 2018, again we got mandate from 2018 up to here. So when we indicate how did we perform 2018 and 2019 and 2021, that was within the mandate that we have given us. So that's where we come from, and that's where we are currently as we report today to Assembly. And then, Jimmy, the municipality qualified audit, we are aware about that. We know all the municipalities with qualified audit because we've got a government task unit from regional level to provincial level to national level. So we meet, we report, we know everything. But unfortunately, our duty is to expose corruption where it raises its ugly head. And in such cases, like in Malahleni municipalities, I know that the caucus, they open cases against the former CFO, against the MM. In Pixliga, Isaka Seme, we also do it at the provincial level. Komisano Mshato, Fighter Mshato is sitting in the portfolio committee of local government. We have seen arrests in Pixley, in Malahleni, including a new municipal manager who was just appointed. So there are other municipalities or caucuses that they don't bite. I agree. And I've indicated it in my political report when I spoke briefly about legislature and municipal caucuses, that some of us were not doing the work. It's like we are self-serving, or we are serving our own narrow selfish interests, but not the people. But there is activism in most of the municipalities in terms of holding them accountable. And then the matches and cases, GPV report is there. But you must remember that if we have not inputted as GPV desk in the regions to the report by the acting provincial secretary, and your issues will not be covered by him. Because we were supposed to have assisted her. The same with labor desk issues. We advised, we guided all the regions that bring all your programs, activities, so that it be incorporated to the occasional report. So if we have not done that, it will not appear. But for those who submitted, it will appear. And then the evictions, we also participated, including the Utingo Park issue. We also brought our own lawyer, but the people also contributed their money. The issue has been in and out in court. We have not relaxed. Yes, we agree. The people voted us because we worked with them. We were with them even when they were shot and removed and so forth. It's not that we have deserted them. Because one other thing that you must understand as the EFF is that the unfortunate part is that we are not government. We don't make decisions. We'll fight and fight for people, but the institutions that have the power to correct that, if they don't come to the part, there's nothing we can do. Hence, we resort Guma Court to resolve those issues. So they have not been abandoned. They have been attended to. And the matter, I think, is still in court even now. Yes, it has been too long. And also the eviction in there in Kalamnand, it was the EFF who provided a blanket. I remember the TSG was still a councillor there, to those communities when they were evicted, including providing some shelter. So other questions are relevant. It's just that they are not covered. We are correct to ask them because they are not part of the report or they are not relevant to this, to the political report. And then Fighters 10, Section 5, unemployment rate, I've covered it there. Is that page 9 and page 5, including beneficiation. I spoke about beneficiation in the mines, even in, I quoted Lightenberg also, and even Kromtry, and so forth. What I will agree more is the issue of farm dwellers and farm workers, which we didn't cover. More especially the farm atrocities, the killing of our brothers and sisters in the farms, like Fighters in the estate, the eviction of our parents in the farms. It's happening too much, especially in the area of Emakazini and Steve Twet. And in Mkondo, the killings is too much. But we are the only organization that is available for the people in those instances. We're there with the Toga brothers from day one to the end. The case is still continuing until they got bail. We fought, all of us, every day in court. So it's not that we are quiet. The issue of the Lily mine, where 3 mine workers are still trapped underground, Eric. So, yeah, I think the categories of question, like I've said, some questions are asked by fighters who were responsible for those programs. Like Eric was responsible for the Lily Mine program. So it becomes surprising. How do you ask someone about your own program? You even appear in the TV for the first time through that program. Because you were one, before it was handed to Mtenja, we deployed. So it's you who must empower us better. What must we do? But the long and short part of it is that we are all worried about that situation. The SG asked me about it when they arrived there. And it's 5 years now. They are still trapped underground. No movement. We've tried to fight in the legislature. The office of the premier is not coming to the party. The TMR is not coming to the party. Rasta is here, he's a delegate. He will tell you. We always attend there when there are commemoration and so forth. We supported them when they were fasting, sitting there in the mountains, in the dark, throughout. So we are with the people all the time. We are part and parcel of the people. We don't desert people. And then there's the fighter that asked about, I think it's fighter class, about the secretaries. Is worried about why the secretaries are not finishing their terms. Whose business is that? I never sent someone not to pay his party levy. Did I? What kind of a question is that? Because here we are working through the constitution and guideline for public representatives. This process is not me. I've never chased anyone out of the office. They chase themselves. So it's that question is rhetoric. Well, the issue of commuters using Padco buses, we have no representative from the EFF. Let's also accept that we have regional leadership. If you have such issues, touch base with your regional leadership. We have this issue with the community of Paso. Can you please come to the meeting? I've seen Genius and Matala in Tembisile attending many such meetings, including when there was the construction of the Moloto Road there and the many strike. So don't wait for assembly. Assembly come once every 4 years. And then there are programs going. We need the people. We need to go and help the people so that they know that the EFF helped them. Because Lenin says people always remember those who work with them or for them. So the organization of the people, don't wait for assemblies. If you don't find help from the region, escalate the matter with the province. If you don't find the help from us as the province, the CCT is there. That's procedural. So there's regional leadership. They are here. They are listening. And then if there's an issue, please communicate with them. Come assist us here. Come address the people or come listen to the people. The support for Ward 26, what committees. You can talk about that fight. You can call us outside this meeting or the region. And I agree with Fighter Mapetla. Submission of reports is very key. I think we must also agree and resolve in this meeting that branches must submit monthly reports to the RCT, to the regional secretaries. Because branches, one thing that makes branches not to be viable is because they don't meet, they don't have program, they don't submit report. So through reporting, constant reporting, we are going to at least have vibrant and active branches. So that is true. Branches must submit. We're going to resolve because we're going to take resolution. I've heard some of you already coming with beautiful resolution. They'll form part of the Congress declaration when the new secretary make the declaration on Sunday. So reporting is important. So we must develop a template for branches to report, whether they've met, whether they've called a membership meeting, whether they've called community meeting, because that's what the Constitution says. Branches must do. And no, it's not true. The CCT supported us in all the by-elections. We just didn't make it. And it's not true that the PCT does not support by-election. We do. We support by-election at all means, physically and resource-wise. We go there with the people. We were there in Ward 10 and Ward 13 ourselves. The SG came and addressed in Ward 13. The Commissar Mia, the deployee in Butlavelo, has been there since. Commissar Susan has been there. So we just have to come with a strategy and have. We support branches. There's no way you cannot support our branches. It's our branches. In fact, it's our duty to support our branches. It's not a favor. Chrome Crab, we are covered. Salim, circuit manager, we are covered. We know as well. We are like Eric. We are talking about a matter which we are busy when ourselves with Zweli. Or you just want people to know that you are doing something. Maybe we must put it. And then, but there's a good work that they did, these comrades, where Salim Nabozweli there. Like I've said, I've not touched much on farming, though I've touched the issue of avocados and citrus. This is our farm, and because a political report, my hero, must also cover the economic growth and the broader political trajectory of not only the province, but even the neighboring province. So we can't do a political report without covering the economic growth pattern and all those unemployment rates in the province. Those are political issues. Slappy municipalities, well, it's an issue of governance as well. But I hear you, I think you said something about Steve Biko and the 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars. It's a matter that we can discuss outside. But we're just referring to you that you are inspired by Biko, by his consciousness that we have these 7 non-negotiable pillars. We are not saying those are EFF 7 non-negotiable pillars. They are not Biko. We are referring to Biko because it's one of the martyrs that we admire and celebrate his life. And then the issue of, I think I've covered everything. Yeah, thank you very much. And then the Donald killing were disturbed. We also requested leadership to attend to it while we were busy with preparation of this conference. And I think after here, we're going to come and meet and see the family, because that's what we normally do when we have these tragedies everywhere. But in the meantime, we requested fighters from there to just go and visit the family and support the family and everything. So without any waste of time, thank you very much, Deputy Chairperson.
No, thanks, Chairperson. Fighters, I'm sure SGUs zamanje azosinika direction ukuthi funa kwenzakaleni. But the regional secretaries are busy somewhere. SG makaphuma, I'm sure by the time SG makaqeda bazobe sebabuyela abo regional secretaries. Go to your regional secretaries for your sleeping arrangement. Thank you.
Mandla. Amandla. 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 No, thank you very much, Deputy Chair of the session. As I said, okay, so this is what's going to happen, fighters. Firstly, let me appreciate your level of discipline. And this must be the trend throughout until we go back to branches to give the mandate. So what's going to happen now is that we're going to take a break. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, we are starting with the organizational report. We need to engage the organizational report because it is our organization. So amasoshakhalale ngathi aseholidini. Ukuthi nje ku 9 o'clock we are starting here with the organizational report because this is a weekend esizosebenza. So we need maximum discipline. Nobody phuma la. We don't want to lose you. Because if you're going to be excited and do wrong things that are not organizational, even tonight, it might be the end of you with the EFF. So remain disciplined. Females, we don't want problems. We dealt with the issues of GBV. We dealt with all those things. Let us be exemplary. Tomorrow we are here, all of us, in this fashion, in this order. The Commander-in-Chief is still with us. Even now I'm chatting to him. He's still not sleeping, he's waiting with us because he's part of this organization and is coming here on Sunday to close this conference. So he must still find us in this disciplined way. So let us adjourn, let's make sure everyone's got a place to sleep. Regional secretaries, regional leadership, these are your delegates. Make sure that everyone is safe, especially females, that they are safe and secured. Tomorrow morning, we come back here with same energy to continue with the work of the organization. Amanda! Thank you. The plenary is adjourned.